So I'm gonna jump right into this. This comes from Xbox Wire, but Asha Sharma, the new CEO of Xbox, tweeted yesterday, or uh, whatever it's called now. I forgot what it's called. She tweeted, and Xbox is resetting. So they announced this last month that Xbox will be resetting, and I'm gonna just get through this as fast as possible. But this was her tweet. Team, we are beginning the most significant restructure in Xbox history. After careful consideration, I've made a difficult decision to reduce our team by approximately 3,200 throughout FY27, so fiscal year 27. This will include approximately 1,600 or 1,600 people, role eliminations today. So this came out yesterday, as you can see in the top left corner. So 1,600 people lost their jobs yesterday, and a total of 3,200 people that have invested their time, their craft, their energy have just been axed out. And in addition, four studios will leave Xbox management. Will leave Xbox to new management. I recognize that a year-long reconstruction creates additional challenges. Unfortunately, it is not possible to make all the necessary changes in a single day, and I wanted to be direct about the scale. One thing I do like about Asha Sharma, she's been direct. Ever since she's become CEO, she's just letting us know what it is. And Xbox has just been in a tough spot. Now it's just a fire sale at this point. People are getting uh, fired from their jobs, and then other studios are being pretty much gaming studios are being axed out. I know it's painful. These changes will directly affect people who have poured their creativity into building Xbox. Many joined us through acquisitions, while others were recruited here or sought us out because they love this industry and loved Xbox. Today's decisions do not reflect their talent or dedication. Our business is not healthy. Today is not healthy. Which how is Xbox not healthy and it's ran by Microsoft, one of the biggest and most known and just best computer companies that we have today? How is Xbox just not healthy? That makes no sense, right? We're operating at margins that are 3 to 10 times lower than comparable platforms and publishing businesses. We entered Gen 9 with a similar install base. Not similar, smaller. With a smaller install base and a higher cost structure. To grow, we bet on Game Pass, multi platform, and a broader portfolio of content. While those businesses have created meaningful value, they did not grow at the pace we expected. As that happened, our core business weakened and we added more teams, more investments, and more time hoping for better outcome. And now the industry is facing the most severe hardware crisis in its history. We must reset Xbox. So you got a failing business, but you continue to add people to the failing business, spending more money, thinking that that would fix the problem. This is Microsoft we're talking about. First, we will reset our content portfolio. Since 2018, we have aggressively expanded our studio portfolio, while the number of games created each month across the industry now outpace the last 10 years combined. But they're a failing business. Why are you making more games and you're not making more money? We now find ourselves competing not only with the largest publishers, but also with smaller independent studios. It is neither possible nor desirable to own every great independent studio. We also learned that we are not the best home for every type of studio. In a typical year, we lost 64 cents for every dollar we've invested. As we reset Xbox, we will help independent creators succeed by providing open development tools and audiences to realize their vision. So basically, for every dollar made, they lost 64 cents. So on a larger scale, shouts out to Destin. I watched his reaction video to this stuff yesterday. Bunch of creators have already talked about this. On a larger scale, if you spend $100 million, you're losing $64 million. Think about that. You invest 100 million, you're losing 64 million of that 100 million. This is terrible. How does that happen? Is what, and I'm not like mad. I mean, because again, I left Xbox for PlayStation when the PS5 Pro dropped in 2024. The end of 2024. I said, you know what? That whole everything's an Xbox ad didn't that rubbed me the wrong way. So I left. but it's just like tough to hear people losing their jobs. And how could a company like this mismanage and just miss the mark so bad? Propulsion Games and Double Fine Productions will return to management and transition to independent studios with their IP catalog and runaway for their next games. Ninja Theory and Undead Labs have entered terms to join new ownership with funding to complete and grow Sunia and State of Decay 3. In France, Arcane's management is beginning required consultation with its works council to review potential strategic options. We're also making reductions across other units and in some cases shifting investment to focus on higher priority projects. These changes vary in size across Activision, Bethesda, ZeniMax, Blizzard, King, Mojang, and Xbox Game Studios. None of our first party publicly announced games or projects are being canceled as part of these reductions. So your main big hitters that Xbox has been known for years, Gears of War, Halo, uh, what, Fable. Uh, they already acquired Activision, so Call of Duty, things like that won't be affected, but they'll just pretty much be pumping out those games because those are the ones that make money. In addition, Mojang and King will report directly to me. I believe King may be the owner of Candy Crush as well. I know Candy Crush is big in a whole different realm, not console or PC gaming, more of mobile gaming. I don't know who's the owner of that, but don't quote me on it. In addition, Mojang and King will now report directly to me. These two studios have increasingly become platforms and our largest by monthly active players. They bring critical geographic, demographic, and differentiation to Xbox. So I think those are what I'm saying, mobile. Secondly, we'll reset our platform. We know that great technology gets better when it gets simpler, not bigger. Today, in some parts of our company, work passes through as many as 14 layers of management. That's another thing. How you have 14 layers of people that something has to go through to make a decision? Like, what? That don't make no sense. Our platform teams are 40% larger than they were at the start of this generation, but you losing money. Why are you continuously growing the company and you're not making any money? Even as our player base and playtime has declined. You ain't getting more players in the door. Xbox Game Pass, no one subscribes to it. A lot of people that's in my circle probably even don't even know what Xbox Game Pass is. Two, the Xbox console didn't sell. I mean, it's only 35, 38 million sold in 6 years and it went up in price. Definitely not actually the same as PlayStation 5, but it's just not as popular. It's corny. Uh, it just makes no sense. But they continuously added more studios, spent more money, and didn't get their return on investment. That complexity of sold decisions, blurred accountability, and made it harder to deliver for players. As we reset Xbox, we will simplify. We reduce management layers to no more than 5, and where possible 3. We will deliver success through a flatter organization that is built around makers, individual contributors focus on the building, player coaches, and directly responsible individuals who own key decisions and outcomes. And we will streamline how we work across our tools with a cleaner code base, shared services of 50%, reduce vendor spend. Third, we are resetting how we operate. As Xbox grew our headcount, we became more fragmented. Teams, studios, and functions often operate independently, and it became harder to work towards a shared goal, make the right trade offs, and get things done. So they just acquire people like, hey, go do your job, and it'll pass through 14 different layers of people before we actually approve it. Here's the money, do what you want to do. And if we approve it, we approve it. But it got to go through a bunch of layers to get approved, which they probably was because they thought everything would hit. It didn't. So just bad for business. This is business at the end of the day. It's never personal. You know what I mean? I learned that from football. It's always business, never personal. For the first time, we are establishing a chief operating officer. So they didn't have no one at the head with the end-to-end profit and loss responsibility across content, hardware, platform, and services. They never had a profit and loss sheet for one of the biggest gaming companies in the world. They just they didn't care about how much money they were making. Since when, I don't know, but that makes no sense. How is it so how isn't it all this unified? How is Xbox an umbrella of PC gaming, console gaming, uh, Game Pass over here, gaming studios over here, independent studios, Xbox Game Studios? Everybody just got a bucket of this well-rounded term of Xbox, and it's just running, making no money at the end of the day. People pouring their heart and soul in these games, giving budgets. Well, not giving budgets. I'm sorry, they weren't giving any budgets. Just go make a good game, and they throwing out just misses. Nothing's hitting. Nothing's sticking. Games have won awards for Xbox, but it ain't bringing no money. I'm pretty sure again. My homies game, but they don't game like that. South of Midnight was a game of the year, won awards last year. Who's played South of Midnight? I did. I did, and I know none of my homies did. They don't really game like that, but that's beside the point. It's just like a miss. Like it makes no sense. I don't know who this is. She's been promoted and will directly report to Asha over nearly 2 decades. Xbox, she's helped. Blah blah blah. Mojang and Minecraft are big. So Minecraft, it's a weird game. A lot of the kids play. So they definitely got the kids' attention with that Minecraft stuff. He'll help the business, whatever, whatever. Dave McCartney, he is playing a defining role in business and building the platform that millions of players rely on every day. If they're gonna reset Xbox, don't bring anybody who been there for this anyway. They've seen this all along and they didn't care. I don't know what this. If you're gonna reset, get everybody out of there. I don't like it. I see why Phil Spencer just retired. Like, they're not making no money. What can I do? These changes are about a bigger future for Xbox, not a smaller one. The decade of gaming will be larger, more global, more creative than anything we've seen before. This year, we'll invest as much in Xbox as we have ever, but we'll invest with greater focus, greater discipline, greater clarity. I want Xbox to be one of the few companies that entertains more than 1 billion people each day and gives everyone the opportunity to create and connect. I know we can achieve this goal. Xbox has many of the most beloved franchises in entertainment history, talent studios around the world. We will return to growth in 2027. History is full of companies that make mistakes, that mistake longevity for inevitability. We will not be one of them. Asha. So she tweeted that yesterday. This dropped yesterday. I don't get it. How are you one of the biggest studios in the world? Xbox, we're talking about Xbox owned by Microsoft. Y'all have been losing money for a decade. They have if you didn't know, they had a bunch of studios. They have bought Activision. That's the only one I really care about because it's Call of Duty. They bought a bunch of major studios and then they're putting out these games that aren't making any money. The Xbox Game Pass didn't attract players. Don't nobody care about renting their games for a subscription. People don't even know about it. Two, the tiers of Game Pass have switched. Prices have went up and down. The names of the different tiers have changed. Just a lot of confusion. And I see why. Things were passing through 14 people just to be approved or whatever. They lost sight of what mattered, which is the consumers, which is the players, you and me. It's unfortunate, but it's needed that they needed to reset. The people that have lost their jobs that pour into these games, these gaming studios, hopefully they can bounce back on their feet. It's business. Business is business. Hey, if you were a part of a studio that made a game that you thought was just a banger and it wasn't, that's on y'all at the end of the day. I mean, your creativity, you were given more than enough money. Just make a good game. Unfortunately, they flopped. Maybe it's the Xbox umbrella. I'll say this, the Xbox umbrella is just like tainted right now. It's tainted goods. Like, again, I left, but who wants to play anything that has an Xbox on it? It's just not the same, you know. They're trying to live off the past, bringing the nostalgia back, the new 25th anniversary Xbox, changing the name, trying to bring core people back, but they've lost me. They honestly have. And I almost considered it. The things that they were doing earlier in the year when Asher got in there, I'm like, okay, I could see myself picking one up. But how is Project Helix, the next Xbox, going to drop? And the business is already losing money. What they gonna do? They're gonna up the price of that Xbox, and then they're gonna probably lose more money because no one's gonna buy that as well. Or they're just gonna scratch it, knock it off the table, and everybody's stuck with an Xbox Series X or S for the next 15 years, maybe. Who knows? I don't know. But it's just tough. It's tough to see somebody like Xbox just be so far off the mark. Like, what are you doing? Makes no sense. But it all starts up top. Up top wasn't right. It wasn't taking care of business, and it is what it is. So a lot of people have given their take on this on YouTube. That's mainly what I watch. I don't have X. That's what it's called. Called X. Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. I don't have that. Xbox Wire is usually where I get a lot of information from, or I simply just Google Xbox and then hit news. So that's how I was able to find this, which was a tweet. But again, it's unfortunate people lost their jobs, but it is what it is. Business is business. Xbox, just do better. I don't know how you kind of come back from this. We're all sitting on the sidelines watching, so we'll see how it goes. But I left. So that's all I got for you guys today. I appreciate anyone that ever checks this video out. Leave a comment below in the descriptions what you think about this whole situation. I'm always on, I'm always repping. Y'all have a good one.